Message from Paul Barrett to say he is listening, but he said, Mike, you've disturbed me. I was in the middle of my favourite part of the Liberace movie and you had to talk about me, so there you are. Johnny's in the studio, and I met this lady a few months back at a wellness conference organised by Nikki Wood, and I was so impressed with what she did. I said, Sue, you're going to have to come into the studio. So Sue Silcox, welcome to 101 FM.
Thank you, Mike. It's pretty good, I think, to be here, but I've never been in one before. So
do you know what? We'll find out.
New experiences.
As the morning goes on, I'm sure you'll be fine.
Okay.
So I was so impressed with what you did. And
thank you.
It's kind of hard to describe, obviously, because we're on radio, hard to describe what you did. The only way I can describe it really is it's exercising for people that can't normally get up to exercise.
Well, it's interesting you say that. People who can't get up to exercise can exercise. But you know, people often think, oh, seated exercise, I don't want to do that. That's
how
boring.
Does that work? That's crazy.
I can walk, I can run, I can do these things. But the whole premise behind this, the whole basis of it, is that we are moving our brain as well. And so when you're sitting in a chair, you have to think how to do something. I was listening to ZZ Top just now, and, you know, you've got legs, and I thought, okay, you've got legs. She knows how to move them. Well, how would I move them? Well, I could play football, and I didn't have to use my brain too much to imagine kicking a ball. That was fine.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, I could strut. I could be a model, and I could strut the catwalk. And I had to think, well, I'm sitting in a chair. I obviously can't do that, but I have to put my foot forwards and then back. And all that is working your brain as well as your body.
It's not just a physical exercise,
no.
It's keeping your brain active.
Yeah, that's right.
And you know what I found, because we're all sort of, you know, getting a little bit older, and you mix with people that are slightly older than yourself, and you think, wow, I can see that they're a little bit more forgetful, and stuff that was stuff you didn't have to think about. It was automatic. All of a sudden you have to think about.
Yeah.
But what I loved about what you did, and it was fascinating, because as you know, I was there filming it, and you're up on the stage, and I'm a great people watcher anyway, and I'm watching the audience, and people who initially sort of sat there with their arms folded thought, go on then, show me something I don't know. And they're the ones that are doing the counting stuff, and then they're laughing because they realise, hang on a minute, this is harder than we thought.
Yeah. And just as it's on the brain, it's also based around play. You know, kids learn through playing.
Of course.
They learn to walk by getting up and falling down and getting up again and falling down. And all that time while they're playing, whatever it is they're learning, whether it's riding a bike or swinging a baseball or a tennis racket, it's all through play. And in all that time, they're building new neurons in their brain. And a lot of them, you know, it's not that we don't keep them, but a lot of them just get used for other things, or we might lose them or whatever. And so this, through play, we can connect with what we used to do, laugh, have fun, feel good, and get this body exercise as well, get physical exercise as well.
What I was so taken aback by is, again, just looking at people, everybody had a smile on their face.
Yes.
You know, even people, and there were a few there were people in wheelchairs that just couldn't do the stuff, but they were clapping, they were smiling along, which I thought was great. So where did the idea come from?
It was created by Denise Medved, who's an American. She lives in North Carolina, and she's always been a mover. She's 64 years old now, and she did a lot of dance movement. She actually had a degree of disability when she was born, and she was told that she needs to move every day. So she does.
Okay.
And her father was a bodybuilder, amongst other things, but he was a bodybuilder. He was very physical, and he was always moving till the day he died. Now, her mother was very sedentary. She liked to do crosswords and she'd sit. So she was quite idle. And unfortunately, she was the one who developed dementia.
Because I was going to talk to you about that. And you know, having family members with dementia, I can kind of relate to this. I saw lights go on in people's faces that clearly were struggling with dementia, but you just triggered something, whether it was the music, whether it was the exercise, and the lights came on. And this must be hugely beneficial. Early onset dementia, Alzheimer's, any of those?
People with Parkinson's, people with MS, people in wheelchairs who may only have, you know, one arm or one leg, they can still think they're moving the missing arm or leg that they have. It fits anybody, any age, any size, any type, because it's in a chair and it's just on the educator's experience. So I'm an educator and I'm a trainer in it. So in the 4.5 years since I've been doing, 5 years now, 5 years in November, I'm also a people watcher and a thing watcher. So I saw the train go past and my little brain's doing all sorts of things, thinking about my class tomorrow. What am I going to do with them? I've got the idea in my brain and they just all fire up and they make me feel very happy.
Which is great. And what was also fascinating for me, because we were sort of joking about this off air, somebody said to me once, do you have anything written down? I said, have you ever listened to this show? Are you serious? Nothing's written down. But you were saying to me on the day that I met you that every time you do this, it's different because you're never quite sure. You don't know the audience reaction. You don't know what's going to happen. But it's not that rehearsed. And I guess you've got a structure, but that's it.
There are 21 physical tools that target different areas of the body. So, for example, one tool targets joints. So I know that if that piece of music that I've just heard makes me want to move my joints, an image might come of me. I might be waving goodbye to somebody. Or I might be cleaning a window or hitching a lift or, whatever happens to come through. It could be that train with its wheels going round and here's my elbows and my shoulders working as I move my joints. So, there are 21 tools like that. And that's all I need. I need to know what the benefit of each tool is. Joint mobility, and that's what I want to bring out from the people who are in the group.
And what was really interesting as well, because we went round at the end of the day and we were chatting to people, just, getting their impression of the day. And one of the things they said about you is they couldn't believe how hot they got. They were sat there and they were working up a sweat.
Yes, you can work. Well, I do. I work to my greatest extent because I want to get a workout as well.
Of course you do.
As well as my brain, I want my body to get a workout too. And it is surprising how energetic you can be in a chair. Conversely, somebody who has very limited physical movement might just tap a hand on a knee and they are getting the social side because they're in a group. They're getting the music, they're getting the feel good, they're getting, all of that.
And all of that was very apparent. And as I say, what was fascinating for me, the one I enjoyed was the one they had people counting.
Yes.
Because you could see the working and the brain's going and the physically. Because we live in a society now where for the majority of your day you're sitting down, you're in front of a TV screen or sadly, as on the M1 this morning, you're stuck in traffic. So you can do this kind of thing in a car as well, I'm guessing.
Yes. Yeah, oh yes, definitely. Yes, there's... I'm not so sure that I would do that one with the counting in the car unless I was in a traffic jam.
I'm thinking more like this morning if you're in a traffic jam.
But there is no reason why you can't do your face muscles
that's very
while
true.
You're in the car and you look at the driver next to you and you maybe winking and blinking is not a good idea.
Maybe not so, because people may misinterpret that. I think what I think is fantastic is it was appealing that there was quite a sort of large age group. I mean, the majority of them in that room that day that I saw were probably 60 plus, but there were some young people, and especially the people that had the stalls, and they were enjoying it every bit as much as the older people.
And the music has such a lot to do with
helps.
it. And listening. I am very new to 101 FM, but I'm not going to be because your music that I have heard has just the right zing to it, and it made me want to move.
Which is great. Now, that's one of the joys of being here at 101 because all the presenters choose their own music. And we've kind of got a feel. I mean, I'm lucky I do once every couple of months, movie of the month, so I get to meet the listeners and they will tell you what they like, tell you what they don't like. And I think you would be great. I'm going to see if I can work this out. I'm thinking out loud here. It'd be great to get you to one of our movie of the month and get you to do just 5 or 10 minutes of what you do because that'd be fantastic. So if people want to know more, how can they get a hold of you?
They can go to our website, which is www.agelessgrace.com.au. But that's a bit of a mouthful.
It is.
I've left some cards outside if anyone's going past.
Perfect.
My mobile is 0402.
I probably wouldn't give the rest of that mobile number out, so we'll leave that on reception as well. It's just, you're going to have a fan. After being on 101, you're going to have a fan club, and you're going to have stalkers, because I have them every day.
They better go to the website then.
I think that's much better idea to go to the website. And if people want to see, are you sort of, I use the word appearance, are you appearing anywhere in the weeks ahead locally?
Well, I do 2 classes a week, at least 2 classes a week. So every Wednesday is a walk-in class where people from probably we're about 65 up. Everybody walks into the library at Kenmore and we sit around and we do an hour's Ageless Grace then. I also do a class in a high care facility, but that's a private.
Sure.
That's for the residents there. And then various things come up. We are planning on haven't got quite far enough with it, but we're planning a Move Your Body and Brain week, probably early next year, that we've got about 100 educators in Australia, and we want everyone to be moving their body and brain at the same time.
That sounds fantastic.
You hear it. And if people can't get to a class, then they can, we have got DVDs and books that people can have if they want to. But going to a class is much more fun. And we have got someone who's at Browns Plains who's a new educator and will be starting classes before long.
What we'll get you to do, Sue, is keep very closely in touch with us here at 101 FM.
I will.
Because it's just exactly what our listeners would enjoy going to. I can vouch for it, people. I mean, although I was working, I was trying. I could not hold my camera and do the counting at the same time. I just couldn't do it. And it was just, that made me laugh. It was terrific. Sue, I wish you all the best. You told me you were retired. This does not sound like retirement to me.
Well, it's my third age job, isn't it? It's certainly not retirement. I spend more hours than I did when I was working.
Yeah, I tell the current Mrs. Bennett that this job is my midlife crisis. She said you've had 2 of them already, so that is fair. So an absolute joy to chat to you. I'm so glad that you came in to see us at 101 FM. We're going to get Sue to leave her details on reception. If you'd like to know a little bit more about the work that she does, or where you can see her, or even to get a hold of some more information, then give us a call at 101 FM.
No,
you carry on.
Mike, if I may, if people go to the website and leave their name and email address, then I'll do a draw and one of them will win a DVD.
See, everybody comes here and gives us gifts and giveaways. We love all of that. Sue Silcox on 101 FM, thank you very much for joining us this morning.